welcome back to Motorhead Garage. Sam and I have found ourselves a beautiful motor coach here. Of course, this is courtesy of Alliance Motor Coach.
Yep, those are the folks that we went down to visit them. They serviced my big coach and washed it. We were on our way to Gainesville, remember?
Exactly. Anyway, one of the things you have on these are a lot of tanks and a lot of systems to monitor. And what we're doing today is we're going to put a little bit of an upgrade on this thing, aren't we, Sam?
Yeah, we're going to retrofit the tank levels. You know, when you have these tanks, you have a freshwater tank, you have a gray tank, and you have a black tank. You need to know what the levels are. There's all different systems they use. Most of them aren't very accurate. Some of them even foul.
Exactly. Well, the nice thing about this is what we have. This is from Garnett, and this is our SeeLeveL II tank monitor. And what it has is got where you can monitor a lot of different tanks with one console. It's got battery, fresh, gray water, black water, LPG, all right here.
Right, and it's all done with these sensing strips here. They mount right on the outside of the tank, real easy to do. They use the same wire harness, so the retrofit for this coach is going to be real easy. By the way, I have these in my coaches, and they work great.
All right, well, you get started on that side, and I'll get started right down here.
All right, Don, what have you found on this unit?
It's got the normal low-cost system that we've come to hate over the years because of its inaccuracy, and also you can see a very, very low resolution. In other words, full, third, or empty. And when you're in between, though, you don't know whether you're 1/3 full or how close you are, so dry camping is not very much fun with this. And secondly, in the black and gray tanks, we have much more trouble with shorting and false readings.
And folks, here's the guy that knows what he's talking about. This is Don from Garnett Technology. This is the SeeLeveL gauge. We'll be able to read accurately when we set it all up, every level of the tank. We know what the percentage tank is full, is that right?
Every 3/8 of an inch.
Wow. And that's real important because, like you said, if you're dry camping, particularly you don't want to run out of fresh water, but you don't want your black water or your gray water tank to overfill. So what's our first move here?
We would remove the wiring. The second step would be to measure where we want to put these. And the first consideration is where is the tank being fed from, and we can see this is the tank discharge here.
Right.
So we're going to put an index mark, and we'll base the bottom of our reading to be zeroing just before you run out of water.
Great. So all we're going to use to retrofit this is these two wires.
Right.
And we'll leave the probes because you said you don't want any leaks.
Right.
This should have been trimmed anyway when they made it. And what is this little red deal here? That's a diode?
That's a diode, and we don't want that in the circuit, so we're going to eliminate that.
So we'll cut this little tie wrap right here. There we go. I didn't want to cut the wires that we didn't need to cut. We can cut this off.
I would trim it right here.
There.
Right there.
There.
And the ground.
There.
And the last level, the 1/3 level.
Okay.
Okay, now all we're looking for is two conductors.
Right.
And that is ground and power. So we're going to use the power line as our communication line, we call it.
So we can throw all that away.
And now we've got all that we need to run this tank.
Now, one of these strips is not tall enough.
We can take scissors and actually shorten these as we need to make them fit in this particular span. So we'll determine where the top's going to be, and we'll mark that, these to fit between these two. And during that configuration, we want to tell the system which one is the top board by breaking a trace. Then the system can tell which is top and which is bottom.
We're going to go ahead and mark this up, cut these, install them. We're going to go on the edge of the tank so you don't have any flex. And as soon as we get that done, we'll be ready to wire it. So let's go ahead and measure this. You want to go from here to about there, right?
Right, flat surface. Making sure there's nothing on the tank surface going to discourage our adhesion. This is a very special adhesive by 3M designed for low energy surface materials like polyethylene. The only two limitations are cleaning and the temperature. It must be at least 60 Fahrenheit in order to adhere properly.
How am I doing, all right?
Right there.
All right, so we're cutting this and sticking this on. We're going to go ahead and finish this up. Right now, we need to take a break, so stick around. We've got a lot more coming here at Motorhead Garage. So this is cut.
So now the next thing is we want to break this trace on that top.
Motorhead Garage, presented by Low Car Performance Products, coming to you from Borla Commerce Park.
Hey, welcome back to Motorhead Garage. Well, Sam and Don have been working on that side. Now you've moved over here. I need some help too. What we're going to be doing now is mounting the SeeLeveL II tank monitor. This is it right here. As you can see, you can monitor battery, fresh water, gray, black, LPG, everything all in one little unit. Hopefully, we can replace this with this. And here's what I'm talking about. I'm going to pop this out. There we go.
There you are.
All right.
Now what we're looking for is the pigtail.
All right, so this right
Every
here.
console like that will have a pigtail, and it's always red. So we want to unplug that because that is the wire harness that we're going to be using.
Okay, so this is what we're going to get rid of.
Right?
Hopefully, they didn't cut this hole in here so big that we can't use it. If that's the case, we'll be all right. We'll be pretty close.
Pretty close.
All right, so we got this off. Whoop there.
All right. So there's one more piece to the puzzle, and that is the power supply to that switch.
Yeah.
We want to use the constant power as our feed for our console. So
Which one's that?
we'll
This
be
one right here?
removing both of them will come off the switch, and then we'll do a test with a voltmeter, make sure we got the right one.
There we go. And let's see if we can get that. Hopefully the spade will come off easier.
And that should be the constant. The insulated one probably is the constant.
This is the constant feed. Okay. All right, let's check this out, Don. See if how close we're going to be here.
The nice thing is that RVIA code tells us by color what wire is doing what. And so we're going to be tying all of our tank lines as far as conductors to one common wire.
Well, we're going to be pretty close here. It's just barely going to make it, but I think I'm going to be all right on that. Okay. So what we do is we'll go ahead and then splice these into these wires, right, and we'll be in good shape then.
Right.
All right, let's see what Sam's doing up there.
So what we did here is, again, we had the white is the ground, the red is the power. Those are wires already in the coach. Makes this a simple retrofit. We tied the two grounds together, the two power leads together, and we taped them up here with some good Gorilla tape on the tank to give it support. The important thing is that these wires stay to the right of the strips, the one on the left side, because that'll impede the signal. Nice and tight, nice and neat. That ties right into the console inside, just like Davey's doing back there. Let's check it out, see how he's doing.
All right, well, now while Sam's been screwing around over there, I've been doing the wiring here. And you can see we got it all hooked up now, and it's working. Got our battery going. But here's our wires here. Our blue goes to gray and black and fresh. Our green goes to our LP right over here. Our red to power, and our black goes to the white, which is ground. So we got it all going. It's working. Now all we have to do is we'll slide it back in here. I used butt connectors on this. Did a good job on it. It's important to do that because these things vibrate around. You don't want these wires to come loose. So I think that's going to ride pretty good there, Don.
I agree. You did a good job.
All right, so we'll put this on. It just barely covers that hole, but we're okay, I think. Meanwhile, just about run out of time here, Don. Let me get this in so we can see what it's going to look like. Hey.
Looking good.
Looking pretty good.
Screws.
Okay. Well, folks, we've run out of time, but you can see what it looks like. I'll go ahead and put the rest of those screws in there, and I think we're in business.